Living in WA, we are so fortunate to have a wealth of natural beauty right on our doorstep. We can sometimes forget that these places may be home to some unique residents.
Snake bites are rare, especially if you're paying attention to your surroundings and wearing the appropriate clothing and footwear. In the unlikely event that a snake bite does occur, however, it is really important that you know exactly what to do. I'm going to show you how. Let's get started. This here is Sophia. She's volunteered kindly to be our casualty today to demonstrate what you do if someone gets bitten by a snake. It's always important to make sure that the area is safe, the snake's moved on, call the ambulance and ask your casualty, please lie down for me, I'd like you to stay nice and still. It is really important that they stay still and lie down because the way that snake venom travels through the body in Australia is through our lymphatic system, which is a system that cleans the body and collects fluid, and it's activated by movement. The more they move, the faster the venom will travel through the body. Once you've got your patient lying down, I want to retrieve my first aid kit, preferably a snake bite specific one like this one I have here, because it will have all the equipment that you could need. When you open it up, make sure you find the correct PPE, preferably some gloves, put those on, and then you can locate your bandages. How are you feeling, Sophia? You doing okay down there? Perfect. Always check in with your casualty and see how they're feeling as you proceed. Once you've got your personal protective equipment on, you can then locate the bandages you'll need to use. Preferably, you want good, strong compression bandages like the ones I've got here. This one's 10 centimeters wide. As long as you've got a 10 to 15 centimeter one, that's best preference. And something that's got this kind of good compression is ideal. The first bandage you want to take and apply directly over the bite site. I can see Sophia's is just here today. So what I want to do is I want to take that bandage and nice and firmly, I want to place it directly over the bite site. Provided their clothes are nice and movable, I don't need to remove them at all. They will just assist in providing the good compression. When you get to the end of the bandage, you can use the clips they come with, but because we're going to bandage over the top, I actually recommend that you just lift your previous loop and tuck this bandage in underneath. That'll give it nice and secure without causing any damage. Then we need to remove the shoe. This is because we must check to see that we haven't cut the circulation off. So take the shoe off, take any socks off, and what you want to do is just clamp the edge of the toe. Just hold it for a second, release, and make sure that the colour comes back. It should return within 2 seconds at most. We want this bandage nice and tight, but we don't want to be cutting off the blood flow. Then you want to get a bandage, preferably a snake bite specific bandage. This one here, it's good compression, 10 centimeters wide, but it actually has a pattern on it that will show me when I've got the correct compression rate. This, when I pull it out, will form some nice squares that I can use as a guide. I want to take this bandage and I want to start all the way from the toe. But I notice right now that as I move up, I'm going to find it hard to do because she is lying flat on the floor. So before I do this, I'm actually just going to take my first aid kit and I'm actually going to lift the leg and slide it underneath. That's going to give me a good starting point and I can adjust it as I move so I can bandage with ease. I'm going to take this one here, start from the base of the foot, and I'm going to bandage it around, pulling it nice and firm so that those rectangles form squares. If you don't have a snake bite bandage and you're just using a compression bandage, making sure that you pull it so firm that you can only just sort of fit your finger underneath is ideal, but constantly check that circulation to make sure that you're not cutting off the blood flow. We want this firm and secure, but no decrease of circulation. You'll notice as I'm coming up, I'm moving my bandage roughly halfway up the previous loop. It will give me the most amount of range along the leg, whilst also ensuring that I give good compression. You don't need to overlap the bandage again and again. As long as it's good and secure, it'll provide that good compression. I'm going to slide this down to this side, so I can rest your foot on it. There you go. When you get to the end of the bandage, again, if you've got metal clasps, you can clip it off, but otherwise just lift your previous loop and slide it in underneath to make sure that it's secure. Now, ideally, you could get another bandage and continue going, immobilizing the entire length of this leg, or if you were doing the arm, all the way up to the shoulder. Now we want to splint the legs to each other. If you have access to a splint board, by all means, put it between the two legs. That will provide extra assistance. But otherwise, you just need a couple of long bits of fabric, whether some bandages or t-shirts, it doesn't matter. But ideally, what you want to be doing is placing those legs in nice and close together and then just tying them off to each other. So I'm just going to slide this from underneath your knees here. You stay nice and still, pulling that round, tying them off. T-shirt, a jumper will work really well for this. Get another one from further down. Just going to slide this one under your ankles. And I'm just going to tie this one off together as well so that those legs are nice and straight and they're secure. Again, you can put a splint board between here as well. That will provide extra assistance. Once you've finished your bandage, make sure that you come back, check that the circulation is still returning within 2 seconds. And if you have a pen on you in your kit, it's really important, one, to mark the bite site if you know where it is so that they can find it at the hospital. Then you want to mark down the time of the bite if you know when it occurred, and also the time that you finished applying the bandage. This will help the hospital staff with calculating where the venom's likely to have travelled to and what they should be testing for. If you don't have access to a first aid kit or bandages, you can just use clothing. All you need to do is just rip it up, and you want a width of sort of that 10 to 15 centimeters that we were looking for earlier. Now you can leave it whole like this if you want to, or you can keep going the rest of the way, but a width this long will allow you to go over any bite site and continue to wrap around, applying that nice compression. It's important that you remain with your patient until the ambulance arrives. If they get cold or start to feel uncomfortable at all, you can apply a blanket to keep them nice and warm. If they start to feel queasy, like they're going to vomit, you can always roll them sideways into the recovery position if you need to. But stay with them, reassure them, and wait until medical aid arrives.